Suffolk. Yeah, does anyone know anything about Suffolk County Community College?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm going to bring up Keisha Washington Dean, who's the secretary of the NAACP, and she's going to tell you about the scholarship that we started for Suffolk County Community College, which is really dear to my heart. Please give it up for Keisha Washington Dean.
My name is Keisha Washington Dean. I am the secretary for the Eastern Long Island branch of the NAACP. Chip has asked me to speak, but I wrote something out, but he's dear to me, so I really feel that I shouldn't have to read it. But Suffolk County's choice of making Chip the Suffolk County Poet Laureate was a wonderful choice, and I know that he's going to do a great job in performing his duties while he's in office. But Chip has a commitment and a drive to advocate, to fight for equality, and a passion that he desires to be of service. And whenever you call him Chip, you're always going to get it. Okay, what do you need me to do? When do you need me to be there? So I know that from a personal experience, and I'm quite sure all of you know that as well. He's passionately initiated, along with the NAACP, this program for people that are in need of scholarships for the Suffolk County Community College. We hope one day that we'll be able to branch off and just not only do Suffolk County Community College, but maybe do Hauser, we do other universities, but that's going to be a long time coming, because we would like to start with this. And also, he has a Q&R code that you can also donate to his cause. So I know that we wish you well, and we know that you're going to do a great job. And if there's anything that I can ever do, I'm always here to support you. And congratulations and good luck on your endeavors. At this time, we're going to invite Russell Walker to the stage to talk about the endowment a little bit further than I can give you. Thanks.
Very pleased and thrilled to be here with you all. Thank you so much for having this amazing occasion. As mentioned, my name is Russell Malbrough, Director of Alumni Relations for Suffolk County Community College. I'm pleased to be joined alongside my dear friends and colleagues here, including James Banks, our Director of Multicultural Affairs, college-wide, and our amazing elected officials who support us in so many different ways to make sure that we have an affordable education option here in Suffolk. It's truly an honor to be in your presence in this particular historic site, and to honor our most recent Suffolk County Poet Laureate, Chip Williford, who graduated from Suffolk in 2014. He has...
With honors.
With honors. And Chip, as you can tell, has very much been appreciative of his education in Suffolk and loves Suffolk through and through the community college. But I also have to graciously acknowledge our previous Suffolk County Poet Laureate, Deborah Hauser, who is also a graduate of Suffolk County Community College. Deborah, as well as being a graduate, is a former instructor, and while I'm not a faculty, I'm sure our dedicated professors, fellow administrators, and our students will continue to beam with joy, having been connected with two such amazing poets, and people who encourage future poets, and also non-poets, to join us at Suffolk for a wonderful educational experience. I've had the pleasure of knowing Chip for over a decade, and he's been determined throughout that entire time to make sure that two things stayed in his heart, both education and art. And he's done that as both a student and an alumnus. Now, in that time, Chip has held these aspects of his life in high regard and has shared it in multiple formats. And it's only fitting that it goes throughout the county and being extended throughout Suffolk County with this particular role. As many of you are aware, he studied a highly acclaimed radio and television production program at Suffolk Community College. In that brief time that I was offered to address you, he suggested I highlight the opportunity to assist future students, as you already heard about. So true to his gracious character, I've known Chip to pour into others, both literally and figuratively, to point the spotlight or focus the camera on others. But while at Suffolk, he was not only a volunteer and a shining star, but he also received an Eileen Camille Endowed Scholarship for Communication Studies and a Get There From Here Scholarship. In addition, he was an officer at Phi Theta Kappa. He volunteered to speak on panels, assist with special events, contribute to video productions, and even last week, was it last week? Yeah. He was back on campus for a program. And he served as a mentor. So if you can believe it, through all of these accomplishments and time that he's poured into it, none of it directly tied to poetry. Right? None of it directly tied to poetry. And in that, the universe provides a poetic beauty in sharing that his grounding is such a meaningful and lifetime learning grounding that he enters spaces where words, images, and movement intersect. In his service to the college and broader community, Chip is volunteering with the NAACP of Eastern Long Island as a board member, as you already heard, and he advocated for future students to be supported through the establishment of a scholarship. This scholarship will support Eastern Long Island students from select high school districts and to attend Suffolk County Community College in the future. And it carries forward the NAACP national organization vision of inclusion, community-rooted liberation, where all persons can exercise their civil rights and human rights. As we are an open institution at Suffolk, and we hope that we continue to see all persons come to Suffolk and join us for an amazing educational opportunity. When this scholarship is fully endowed, it will support one student at the college in perpetuity. Much like the written word, well beyond our years here, the lasting imprint of support will carry on to future generations. And opening your hearts and minds, thank you so much. It is going to last forever, and in opening your hearts and minds, both Chip, John, MACP board, and our dear neighbors, it's a genuine desire to keep this space for new voices to emerge, and we thank you for embracing this moment to foster education throughout the future. Thank you so much.
Before I start this video, I'd just like to say thank you so much to the Walt Whitman Birthplace Association for this wonderful venue, this historic place in which we stand now. And I also want to acknowledge that we are on stolen land, and we acknowledge the indigenous people and pay respect to all the tribes and all the people that continue to make ongoing contributions to our lives and this area. We're going to listen to this.
Let me just say that I remember the moment when Bubby and I were sitting there and we didn't know who is this young Black man who's getting up and doing this amazing presentation. And we were both like struck, like, oh my gosh, we need to have this person at Poetry Street immediately. And yeah, so it's just been so fabulous over these years to watch you grow into, blossom into the poet that you are, with your prophetic vision and your ability to connect your personal experience with the larger cultural experience of your people. And it's a beautiful thing that you're bringing to the poet laureateship, because I think in our time, those of us who are fortunate enough to be able to be a poet laureate, we have a responsibility to represent the voices that are unheard, the voices that are marginalized and invisibilized in our society. And you've been doing that in so many different ways that it's going to be goes. It's just going to be awesome. And I really can't wait to find out all the marvelous projects that you're going to be starting. And I absolutely plan on adapting them, any of them I can, to the Pacific Northwest. I just think you are the perfect person to be the poet laureate of Suffolk County in this particular moment in history. I think you were really chosen because your voice will be powerful. You will encourage others to find their voices and to speak their truth. And that's what we need.
All of the work that you do and all of the brilliance that you're exhibiting right now. And I want to congratulate you on becoming a poet laureate because I know it was really well deserved. I want you to know I love you and I appreciate you and hope to see you again soon.
Good afternoon, Chip. Greetings from Canada. I might be in another country when Deborah hands over the sacred mantle of Suffolk County Poet Laureate to you, but I'm there in spirit. We have so much to be thankful for. We have the Suffolk County Legislature generously giving their unfailing support, as well as the Walt Whitman Birthplace, the hub of a poetry community. Congratulations, Chip, on this special day and smooth sailing on all the days forward.
Hi, Chip. Thank you so much. I'm so delighted that Chip Williford is our newly selected poet laureate for Suffolk County. He has all of the talents that make him the perfect choice. Perfect choice. My first meeting with him, I learned how talented he was with electronics, all of those devices that were not part of my education because they weren't invented yet, tablets and iPhones and things like that. Because I came from the Mr. Rogers School of Wisdom, I was taught that to always look for the helpers, and there was Chip, always willing to help, to hook me up with what I needed to know. And I learned that he's a generous person and is willing to go and to do whatever he needs to do to help you understand something. Later, I was introduced to his many other talents, those of writing, and that poetry, and cinematography, his ability to make everyone feel welcome, part of the family, the larger family. And he is a creative and a flexible personality, one that always is able to fit into other people's ideas and do what's good for whatever is happening. Anyway, I know that this will be a creative and inspiring 2 years on his watch as the Suffolk County Poet Laureate 2025 through 2027. And I am so happy that he is our Suffolk County Poet Laureate. Thank you, Chip.
Hi, we're here to celebrate Chip Williford, the brand new Suffolk County Poet Laureate. So thankful for Chip in my life. I was thinking about where I first met him, and I wrote the following. Chip, for Chip Williford at Seatuck. When I first saw him, he came into the circle of poets under a gathering of pines, filling the gap, folding his legs under him like a fawn, gentle upon the grass. His presence changed the atmosphere. His words filled the air with love, with hope, with joy. What he did in his tranquil way bound us together, in peace, in comfort, in security, made us a circle of poets in one connected poem. Chip, I know that you're going to do that all over Long Island and the world. God bless you.
Hello to all of you who have gathered for this celebration of Chip Williford's 2-year appointment as the Suffolk County Poet Laureate. I'm Hiram LaRue, a poet in Maryland. You know, Chip proudly and deservedly follows in the wonderful footsteps of the previous laureate, Deborah Hauser. In fact, the county is lucky to have such wonderful poetry talent in its midst. Certainly, Chip will champion the magic and cause of poetry during his tenure. He'll use his own poetry and yours to reach any and all. He'll also, I'm sure, engage with folks well beyond the county to serve as your poetry ambassador far and wide. That's all to say that Walt Whitman must be grinning just now. Enjoy today's gathering at his birthplace and take pride, especially this month, in your new Poet Laureate, Chip Williford. Thanks so much.
Hey Chip, Pastor Ronnie here. Congratulations on your new position as Poet Laureate of Suffolk County. That's a wonderful thing God has done. I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy yourself. Again, congratulations.
Greetings. Hi, Chip. This is your mom from Oakland, California, Pastor Eltina McCree. And I'm humbled and honored that I was asked to play a role in this very auspicious occasion for you. My sincere congratulations and blessings and adulations to you for being named the Poet Laureate. No one deserves this honor more than you. The people on the East Coast have no idea how you have sacrificed, how you have been creative, so loyal to all of us out here in the Bay Area, and shared your experiences, your expertise with us through storms, through rain, whatever it took. You were here enhancing, embellishing, and expanding our gifts and talents. There is no way that you can do that, plant that kind of seed, and then not receive a harvest. And so, young man, now step into your season, receive the harvest for the seeds that you have planted. God's best, God's speed be with you. I love you madly.
Hey Chip, the Shore Poets are here.
Congratulations, Chip. A well-deserved honor. Hope you serve Suffolk County well for the next 2 years.
We know the next 2 years are going to be magical. We hope you have a great day.
Enjoy.
Good morning, everybody. This is Alan Simergian here in New Hyde Park, going for a little morning walk and stopping to say congratulations to Chip for the wonderful recognition and affirmation today at the Walt Whitman Birthplace, which was my former home. I used to be the caretaker there, and I have some terrific memories of that experience. Chip, I wish you just endless invention and joy in this journey, and wishes for future collaboration, that's for sure. And also just how wonderful that you have this experience to connect with all the communities in Suffolk County and beyond that are doing the great work with what is just a beautifully transcendent genre of writing and a way of being and a way of thinking. So I hope this journey is terrific for you. I hope I'm part of it along the way. And just a beautiful morning to you all, and joy. Congratulations, Chip.
Hello, Chip. The day is here at last that we celebrate your appointment as the Poet Laureate of Suffolk County 2025 to 2027. I am so proud of you. And please know that my botched plan to be in attendance could not prevent me from being there in spirit. I commend you as you move into position to serve Suffolk County with excellence. All I can say is the Bard of Avon is in outstanding company now that you have been anointed and appointed as the Poet Laureate of Suffolk County. Congratulations, my brother. This is Reese, signing off. I love you too much. Enjoy.
Hi, Chip. This is your beautiful baby sister, Carolyn. I love you. I wish I could be there on today, but circumstances stopped us from being able to. But just know, Mom and Dad will be so proud of you, and we love you, and we're sending you heartfelt, warm congratulations from your family.
Congratulations from your brother-in-law, your favorite brother-in-law. Congratulations.
Of course, that's my husband, Peter. But you know, he loves you too. Congratulations once again, and we know you're going to do great in this position.
I'm a great aunt of Chip Williford. I am 103 years old, and I want to congratulate him for his achievement. And I pray God will bless him and his family.
Chip, man, congratulations. I am so happy that you have been appointed the Poet Laureate for Suffolk County. I can't think of a person that's better suited for this amazing appointment. I know the work that you've done for so many years. I know the amount of people that you've helped throughout the years, including myself, and I am so thankful to call you a friend. And this is the best thing that could ever happen for Suffolk County. You guys are in for a treat with Mr. Williford. My name is Ralph Roll. I am right now in the south of France about to play the Pulley Festival. And I'm the drummer with Nile Rodgers and Chic. You know many of the songs that we've done, but that's beside the point. I just wanted to find this beautiful backdrop with Lake Lucerne behind me and the French Alps and the Swiss Alps behind me to say to my good friend, congratulations. I am also the CEO of a platform called FUWIMU.com, Fun with Music. Now, Fun with Music is a platform that allows poets and songwriters to get involved with helping not only their careers, but donating a portion of their sales to charities. The platform is doing really, really well. We're getting responses from all around the United States, soon to be an international platform. And my good friend Chip called me and said, wait a minute, I don't see a category for poets. Would you put up a category? And I said, absolutely. So he said, I want you to name Poetry X Hunger as the charity for poets. And I said, 100%. So now, when you go to the platform, the first thing you will hear is a poem that was done by my friend Chip called TikTok. That is amazing. Music produced by Mr. John Adams. And you're going to love it. You can also get involved. All you have to do is go to FUWIMU.com, upload your creations, and people around the world will hear it and potentially donate. So thank you very much, Chip. You are the most incredible person. Congratulations, congratulations. I'm going to bring you back something from the south of France, maybe some Lake Lucerne water. I don't know, maybe a piece of I don't know. But anyway, I love you. Have a good time. Sorry I can't be there. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good day, Chip, and to all who are in view. There's no better place than a Walt Whitman Birthplace for a Poet Laureate to celebrate. And I'm sorry I'm unable to be there myself to cheer you on, Chip. Some time ago, we would meet on the beat of Poetry Street. After hearing you for the first time, I recognized not only the pronounced poet in you, but the potential to pave a path in our community. So I self-bestowed the title, the Prince of Poetry Street, upon you. Today, I congratulate you as Suffolk County Poet Laureate, selected by the past laureates and approved by the Suffolk County Legislature. In this role, you now become an ambassador of our art. to continue in a positive image to spread the poetic word, the value of its history, and the significance of its sustainability. I'm confident that you stand ready to embark on this journey and know that I am here to support you. Congratulations, Chip.
Shortly after Poetry Street started, you came aboard, and how you enriched the party. Oh my goodness. Well, after the Blue Duck closed and we changed the venue and Susan left, it seemed natural for you and I to take on Poetry Street on the road. And we didn't have a venue for a long time, so we Zoomed for quite a while. And then the Riverhead Library became what we hope is our permanent home. And thanks to you, we were able to make it a hybrid. It's been such fun co-hosting every month, sharing presentations for Deborah Hauser, for George Wallace, attending each other's presentations, and also to be involved in your activism has been an honor. This honor for you is just perfect. I just couldn't be happier for you. And being out here with Susan reminded me of a poetry party I threw in my backyard right after Susan left. She came back for a visit, and all the Poetry Street mothers and fathers were there, and a few other people. Bubby and Mint were there, and Susan was there. Of course, she was the guest of honor. And John sang. He sang. What a treat for the neighborhood. Oh, my goodness. Well, Chip and John regaled us with wonderful, wonderful stories. And that's when I realized that as serious as you are about poetry, you don't take yourself too seriously. And that's a gift. Our poetry community is lucky to have you as part of it, as a poet and as a human being. Congratulations and love to the new Poet Laureate of Suffolk County.
This is entitled Tick Tock. What of our lives would we make if only we knew how many breaths we had left to take? With each and every single tick of the clock we survive is another tick we should rejoice for being alive. If we knew how many more breaths we had left to take, or what of our lives and legacy would we make? To love, to give, and to share light. To embrace another chance to make things right. To how many would we say, I'm sorry? To whom would we choose to forgive? How different would our life's choices be if we only knew how long we had left to live? Maybe we wouldn't take our blessings for granted, or easily forget those who helped us on our journey. Nor would we neglect to care for the seeds we've planted. Of what of our lives and legacy would we make if only we knew how many breaths we had left to take? What lessons can we really learn? Who would we want to keep close? From whom would we refrain? What would we change, give up, lose, and burn? How would we choose which passions are still worth the yearn? how would we spend our time? Where would we go? The truth is, we may not ever know. Are you so confident you can say each second you remain without regret, doubt, shame? You would continue to live your life the same? Tick tock.
My name is Caitlin Shea, and I'm the Executive Director for Walt Whitman Birthplace Association. And I see a lot of familiar faces. A lot of poets either showed up today or they were on the video because they weren't able to, but everybody loves Chip. I know that for a fact. So we are so honored to have you here, Chip, to hold this ceremony here. I was thinking of Room Without a Roof. That's kind of what happens when Chip invites people. So a lot of people want to be there for Chip because Chip is there for so many people. I want to let you know, so the birthplace here, part of why it's so special to be here at the birthplace for this ceremony is Walt Whitman was born in that house right over there over 200 years ago. It's very much hallowed grounds for poets near and far, and we are just so excited to always have this ceremony here, and especially for Chip this year. It's always a very deserving poet that we are very aware of, who has a lot to do with the community, so of course Chip is chosen for that reason. I want to tell you just a little personal story of how this is sort of full circle for me. Chip and I were sort of two ships passing the night. Susan Dingle, who you saw on the video, the first speaker, back over 10 years ago, I was doing a mural out in Riverhead as part of a program called Jumpstart with East End Arts Council. And Susan was starting a program called Poetry Street at the time. And I was painting a mural on Main Street right near Blue Duck Cafe, where she was starting to host her first poetry readings. And it was such a beautiful experience for me because I had never been to a poetry reading, so I would dip in while I was painting and dip out. And then Susan invited me to a poetry reading, and I said, well, I don't know anything about poetry, and it's kind of weird. I don't maybe feel comfortable there. And Susan said, no, come on, you have to go. You just try it out. So I did, and my first real poetry reading that I went to was the one-woman show of Terry Hughes. So that was a good introduction, right? So ever since then, I love poetry, but this is way before I even dreamed of working here. And then when I heard Chip took over, I had seen some of the Zooms with Chip, I was just enamored. I said, like, the same energy that Susan has is what Chip brings to that audience, and makes people really excited to be part of it. I mean, it's one thing to have an open mic, it's one thing to let people come up, but also to get them excited and empowered to actually go up there and do something that they can feel really a part of and good about themselves. I'm so happy I'm sad that Blue Duck left, but I'm so happy that Riverhead Library has stepped in there. Beautiful. And I want to acknowledge some of the people that we have here today. You saw that our board secretary, Robert Savino, was on video. And we also have Richard Bronson here with us, our trustee, Richard Bronson, and they were both former laureates. Deborah, of course, nothing could stop her from coming today. And we have Suffolk County legislator Jason Richburg here with us. We actually honored him last year during one of our events. So thank you. And I just want to say again, it's such a pleasure having you here. I hope that you all come back for a tour of that house. It's a really cool experience. The property, I just think it has like a very special feeling to it. A lot of people say that when they come to visit. So all of your support means so much. Having a full room like this, celebrating a community poet like this means so much. So I want to thank you all for being a part of that. Next, I'm going to welcome up Minister Kim Leslie.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the purple poet. And she's really not purple, you know, but she wears purple all the time, and I just love her so very much. Let's give it up for J.R. Turner.
Wow, if you haven't seen, take a look at this room. Wow, Chip, for you. And you'll pardon all of us, we're kind of like working on the fly here. But we're all very flexible and we make all of these happy things work. And so I'm delighted, I'm honored. I'm getting direction. Okay, better? Now you can all hear me. I don't want to use my poet voice, otherwise they hear me outside. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Chip Williford. Chip Williford is the current 2025 to 27 Suffolk County Poet Laureate. I became the director of Poetry Street, the room without a roof, where every voice is heard. And if you haven't done, do it. It's wonderful. In 2019, he co-hosts the monthly open mic live Zoom hybrid event on the last Saturday at 2 p.m. live at the Riverhead Public Library and on Zoom. He is a writer of prose, poetry, and short stories. a videographer, filmmaker, documentarian, family historian, researcher, a great listener, and a reliable storyteller. Most recently, his poem, Idea of America, was published in the 82nd issue of the Sailor's Review. Along with an in-depth interview, his poem, Blue Muse, was included in the Poetry Babe Long Island Quarterly Winter 2024-2025 issue. The Beast was published in the Best Long Island Poetry 2024. In Between was published in the All Men Come and Dance Anthology, and his poem, Naturally, was published in Seeds, Sculpture on the Trail 2024. In September 2024, Chip was honored to read his poem, Shame Is Not Mine to Own, from a Child's Voice, for well-known poet Sonia Sanchez's 90th birthday on a Zoom event. Sponsored by When Black Women Gather, which was also published in the Bard's Annual 2024. Chip was featured with poet J.R. Turek for the launch of the Fall 2024 Winter 25 Poetry Place Pairs Reading Series at the Long Island Poetry and Literature Repository. Chip is a member of Northport Arts Coalition and Northport Poetry Camp exhibit sponsor. He is looking forward to writing his first book. My voice is loudest when I write. So that's the overview of Chip. We all have our own lovely things with Chip. I'm honored and delighted to be able to bring up a number of these wonderful, integral people in Chip's life, and starting, wonderful, with one of the original founders of the Poetry Street reading. Please help me welcome Robert A. Bobby Brown.
Give it up for Bobby one more time.
I don't know what to say. It's hard for me to even recall meeting Chip, because he's one of those people that you don't meet. He absorbs people, and I'm glad that I was absorbable. And you see, he's one of these people that are, as a poet laureate, you have to be comfortable with people. And I have not ever seen Chip in an environment where he was not comfortable when people were there. And he's got this certain magnetism, and when you know him, you want to know more about him. And I'm just an extremely, extremely blessed person. Just to have Chip as my adopted son, you know. That don't mean you will be in my will. But I love him, and I just can only offer sympathy to the person that takes the twig from him. Thank you very much.
My pleasure to bring to the microphone Mary Seymour.
Hi, I'm Mary Seymour, and I met Chip. Can I tell you Chip's story? Well, right now I'm an adjunct professor at Suffolk Community in the theater department. But in 2012, I was one of those baby boomers who decided to go back to school. So I bravely went on campus, and about a month later, I was lost and ended up in PTK, which is an honor society, and they were having a meeting. And I saw this person with this sparkle and this essence, and it seemed like everyone wanted to be around him. And we sort of acknowledged each other, right? And later on we talked. And that was the beginning of an incredible friendship. I love Chip so much, and it's been said, and it's true, it's his humanness. Yeah, there are a lot of talented people, but he's honest, he's organic, and he cares. And more than anything, Chip, your determination and love for voice and advocacy, for creative thought is marvelous. I love you.
So a little interlude into something, you know what, something for you guys, students. So we have these sunshine yellow index cards, and we're gonna pass them out, and we would like for you to write something inspirational, something creative, something about to Chip, something about genealogy, something about poetry, something about how you met, what you do, how much you love him. Although everybody should say that, so you know that. So if you get stuck, that's what you say. There's lots of cards, so if you run out of room, take another card and just keep writing, just keep writing. The plan is to actually produce these and print them, perhaps in his book.
She's my editor.
I'll only fix your typos, don't worry. So yes, we're gonna pass these out, these cards. In the interim, please help me welcome up to the microphone Janice Pendarvis.
This is quite a surprise to me, because I didn't know I was supposed to speak. But anytime somebody asks those of us who love Chip to speak about him, we could go on all night. Chip, I am so very thrilled that you are receiving this honor. In all my years of involvement of the poetry world, I don't think I've ever met anybody who really embodies the spirit and lives that spirit of what poetry is really about. Poetry, even if you've never written a poem, or think you have read a poem, poetry is foundational to human communication. It happens. It happens without you realizing it. But it takes people like Chip to be able to say, ooh, these words together, this makes a great poem. This makes a beautiful poem. Let me share it with the world. And I am so happy that you're here. And I am so looking forward to your 2 years. Love you, love you, love you.
My apologies for the mispronunciation. He's a really great guy. He writes a little sloppy. That's okay. I love it as a place. I really do. I was the 2019 Laureate Poet of the Year for Walt Whitman Birthplace. On Walt's 200th birthday. It was a wonderful thing, and this is an amazing place. And thank you, Caitlin, because she's doing great events. Check out the website, there's lots of wonderful things to do here. And now I'd like to welcome up another great friend of the Walt Whitman Birthplace, Pramila Venkataswamy.
Pramila Venkataswamy, please.
Hi everyone, it's so fabulous to see the room all filled up and so many smiling faces, and you know, that exhibit on the wall, I mean, that totally grabbed my attention. I was not able to look away. Congratulations, Chip. You know, you'll be an amazing poet laureate for 25-27. So it seems like aeons ago that I was a poet laureate. It was in 2013. So it's quite a long ways behind. I'm delighted to know you as a poet, a friend, a wonderful organizer, and it will be an honor for all of us to see you serve as our poet laureate. I've known Chip for many years. His poetry has always struck me as steeped not only in the tradition of African American history, but in the rich tradition of oratory and music. Growing up in South Carolina and listening to the stories of his ancestors, he has brought his heritage to life in his poetry, such that stories of his family reverberate in his poems. In some of his work, I hear the call and response of the spirituals, the lament of blues music, and the emotional cadence of his present lived experiences. Because of his openness to bringing poetry to so many communities, we are now hearing poets in Suffolk County whom we otherwise would never have heard. Chip's presence has been crucial in building the poetry audience, not only in Riverhead, but throughout Suffolk community. In Riverhead, where he hosts the Poetry Street that many of you spoke about. His talent at filming and creating video archives of the poets over the years is an invaluable addition to our history of poetry on Long Island. I've known Chip as part of multicultural solidarity, and we have many members from our multicultural solidarity group on Long Island. We have Dr. Love here and Lisa Roller. And so Chip and I have been very much part of multicultural solidarity. And we do diversity circles together, bringing people from diverse backgrounds, race, ethnicity, languages, gender, and class, and sexual orientation, to talk to each other and create friendships. So I'm leaving you with two important things here that Chip is bringing to us as Poet Laureate. Poetry community, fostering a poetry community, and also building multicultural friendships. Poetry and friendship, what is more invaluable than that? It's priceless. I also want to share with you a personal story in not just knowing Chip, but about my tradition and how it connects with Chip's tradition. I'm Indian, I'm from India. I don't mean I'm Native American, I'm Indian. And we've had 2 centuries of conversations between Indians and African Americans that many people probably do not know about. And it is very important to remember that the civil rights movement in this country was very much connected with the Indian independence movement. And there was a lot of conversation between the leaders of the African American struggle as well as the independence struggle in India. So I share that particular history with Chip. I've spoken to him about it, and it's really important for me to remember this vital connection that we share. So Chip will bring to us this historical consciousness in his leading the mantle that he has been given, and I really look forward to working with him. Congratulations again, Chip, and I give you all my support.
And now, I ask you all a warm, wonderful welcome for the next presenter, John James.
This is incredible. I'm really happy for you, Chip. I'm excited, and I know how deserving you are of all of it and more. You've shared so many stories about your life, and Chip is a walking miracle. Once he starts to share some of the things that he's gone through, and not just survive, but thrives on the other side of it, it is phenomenal. And between rehearsals, recordings, writing out all sorts of things, updating my resume, and making a statement for SAG-AFTRA, and cooking and getting ready for company, I came up with these words that represent you to me, but also they reference our mothers. Chip and I have a lot in common, and both our mothers' names were Juanita. That was my middle mother's name, but she preferred Juanita to her first name, Anna, which means God is gracious. And I was gonna sing, Chip, but it just came in words. You're influencing. See what you're doing? It's entitled Quiet Courage. The best way to get to know someone is by watching how they treat other people. Quiet courage is not brass or boastful. It's empathetic, nourishing, uplifting, and giving. It doesn't require attention. It sees the unseen and it listens to the unheard. It gives voice to those that have been silenced. It brings movement to where there is no motion. Every space it moves into is transformed for the better. It sees opportunities in the midst of chaos. But I want to say to you, Quiet Courage, don't forget that you were guided by celestial, ancestral angels, and they go by the name of Gracious. I love you. Congratulations.
My heart is so full.
We made a poet. We should talk later. I can get you published. We can get some stuff there. And so now, the opportunity is mine. Oh, John, you're gonna make me cry to even start. Okay. People ask me to speak. All right. So this is my newest poem. My sound engineer. Pandemic, when I met Chip. It feels like 100 wondrous lifetimes ago. Poetry Street, where I met Chip. My new webcam, my first webcam, why I met Chip. Zoom, the catalyst, Micro Center, my savior. 2 hours idling in the parking lot, gloves, mask, credit card. I got the last webcam on the planet. Reading my poem at the Open, How I Met Chip. We'll be recording this, Poetry Street, for later, viewing on our website. Muffled sound, crackled voice, background static, not up to Chip's high standards. It needs to be just right. He emails, "Hi, I'm Chip. Can I call?" Zooms, chats, calls, several hours later, adjusted this, that, things I never even knew before, things I never saw before, and it was not just right, it was perfect. It was the beginning. A Zoom reading the next day, feature poet the next. My webcam excelled. I was embraced by fate, wrapped in the caring wings of an earthly angel. I only have 2 hands. And an earthly angel, I have no fear. My sound engineer is always here, deep inside my heart forever. One of the 10 million reasons why I love Chip. Kudos, Suffolk County Poet Laureate. XO, XO, XO. Thank you, Chip. Thank you. Okay, and so, great pleasure to introduce a man with a wonderful, illustrious background, including this wonderful Walt Whitman Birthplace Association. Please help welcome Richard Bronson.
Hello, welcome. So Chip asked me to say a few words. Of course, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor in this place of the birthplace of Walt Whitman. So the position of Suffolk County Poet Laureate, the 2-year term, was approved by the legislature in 2002. And George Wallace became our first poet laureate. Since its initiation, each poet laureate has come to the position with a different vision, different skills, and in their own ways bringing poetry to the people of Suffolk County. Our new poet laureate, Chip Williford, has a special background, including a certificate, I investigated this on your website, certificate in theology in the Interdenominational Theology Center at Atlanta, Georgia. He's also trained in radio and television production at the Suffolk County Community College, being a film producer in addition to being a poet. Chip also describes himself as a good listener and reliable storyteller. As most of you know, Chip is director and co-host with Maggie Bloomfield of Poetry Street, a monthly reading and open mic held in the Riverhead Public Library. I've been impressed by the camaraderie of the group, the democracy of the open mic. When I first met Chip, I was struck by his charisma. I also was struck by the lines I found in his early poems. No one seems to care, having their own battles to fight and their own wins to win. Some have compared him to Langland Hughes. Multi-talented, he brings his own unique style to the position of Poet Laureate of Suffolk County, and I look forward very much to the next 2 years. Thank you so much for being here, Chip. We really appreciate it. And now I'd like to invite Legislator Jason Richburg to the podium.
afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So, I'm Jason Richburg. I'm the minority leader of the Suffolk County Legislature, and I had the pleasure of casting my ballot and my vote for Chip a number of months ago. He wooed us with his poetry and his words, and especially in this time, he got an ATO vote for his nomination as the Poet Laureate. So that's definitely. We all don't always agree on everything, but we all agreed on Chip, which is a combination of his warmth and his depth. So I'm here. I have a proclamation from his legislator, from Jim Mazzarella, who has a proclamation for you on your appointment as a Poet Laureate. And I'll just say, we have a long history, as we've heard, since 2002, of excellent Poet Laureates, and we're in what I would consider the birthplace of poetry here in Suffolk County. And I think it's so apropos that we're here at this moment in time, and to be here with your friends and family, and to hear the stories of all the people who poured into you and you have poured into them, to raise you to this point. It's a pleasure to be here. And so I'm going to present this proclamation on our behalf, on all 1.5 million people in Suffolk County.
Thank you so much. Wow. Wow.
It's my pleasure to invite Deborah Hauser to the podium for the passing of the Laureate Twig ceremony. Let's welcome.
We can bring the mic down.
She said no.
Hold your breath
Thank
like I
you.
did.
I need a round of applause for that.
Absolutely.
I was up here being appointed just about 2 years ago, and I am as excited today as I was then. First, I want to thank Caitlin and the Walt Whitman Birthplace for their generosity in hosting this event and providing free refreshments for Chip and the poetry community. And if you're able, I want to urge you to make a small donation on your way out. As you're walking to the doors, you'll see a donation box on the left-hand side. If everyone could make a small donation there, it is more important than ever to support. And it's not even a matter of supporting and funding anymore. It's now a matter of protecting organizations like this that are losing their funding. So if you're able, please drop a few bucks in there on your way out. Now on to the matter at hand. I am going to be repeating a lot of what you've already heard about Chip, but it bears repeating, so I hope you'll indulge me. So it's been a privilege and an honor to serve as Poet Laureate for the last 2 years, and I am delighted to turn those duties over to Chip Williford. He was selected by a panel of past Poet Laureates, including George Wallace, Tammy Nuzzo Morgan, Pramila Venkateswaran, Robert Savino, Gladys Henderson, Barbara Southard, Richard Bronson, and myself. I'm grateful to all the former laureates for their support and guidance over the past 2 years, and I know they're all looking forward to working with Chip. So how did we select Chip? There were 3 criteria. The first one was the quality of his poetry. Anyone who has read Chip's work or heard him read knows he's an excellent poet and storyteller in the tradition of Langston Hughes, Zora Neale Hurston, and James Baldwin. His work is passionate and moving. Chip says, poetry is a way to communicate when you can't really say the words or tell the whole truth of what is happening. When you can't talk about abuse or can't talk about mistreatment, poetry helps get those feelings out. His poem, Shame Is Not Mine to Own, from a child's voice, recalls the violence he experienced as a child. I have heard him read that poem many times, and it never, ever fails to move me deeply. That is the mark of a great poem, one that retains its power over multiple readings. The second criteria was leadership and community service. Chip is a community leader in so many ways, in poetry and beyond. He's the director and co-host of Poetry Street, a monthly reading series currently held at the Riverhead Library. If you haven't been, please go. Their slogan is a room without a roof where every voice is heard. He led the shift from in-person readings to Zoom readings to keep the series running during COVID. Chip and his co-host Maggie Bloomfield have truly created a safe and welcoming space where voices come together individually and collectively. As they're doing now, they're collecting words from everyone. What they do at each monthly reading at Poetry Street is they have everyone write a line of a poem, put it in a jar, and they put it together and create a community poem. Beyond poetry, he's an executive board member of the Eastern Long Island chapter of the NAACP, where he's working to establish a scholarship for his alma mater and mine, Suffolk County Community College. Shout out for community colleges. Yes. Chip has a broad range of professional and academic experience. He's grounded in the real world. He understands how institutions work. He knows how to get things done and how to make things happen. He's charming, he's charismatic, he leads with empathy, he inspires enthusiasm and creativity in others. During his term, I know he will help others find their voice and discover the power of telling their own stories. Diplomacy and tact was the third criteria. Chip is a world-class gentleman. You've watched him assist everyone up the stairs throughout this event. He's sensitive, he's kind, he's generous. He has an encouraging word for everyone. He takes photos and videos at events and then shares them with the participants. Lots of us do that, and everybody always wants a picture of a video of themselves, and it's great that people hold up their phones and do that. But Chip is a radio and television producer. You're really getting a professional video when Chip does that and shares it with you. I've seen him give up his seat and stand at an event so someone else can sit down. This is a history-making, groundbreaking appointment. Chip is an out and proud gay man and is an advocate for LGBTQ rights. It's also the first appointment of a Black Poet Laureate in either Suffolk or Nassau County. Chip will bring new representation to the face of poetry on Long Island, and I am so excited to see how he serves the community during his tenure. Chip, one of your first duties is to keep this twig someplace safe, and the tricky part is to remember where it is 2 years from now. With great joy, I pass the ceremonial twig to Chip. Please welcome Suffolk County Laureate Twig.
It's a literal twig. Thank you so much. say thank
Oh,
you.
you want the back? I'll give it to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deborah Hauser. Let's give it up for Deborah Hauser. Great poet laureate, and I'm going to present them to her. I'll walk down and give them to you. I'd like to thank all the poet laureates that nominated me and appointed me to legislators, and thank all of you that come here tonight to wish me well. My grandson is here. Jaden, can you please come up?
Hello everyone, it's nice to meet all of you. I'd like to say congratulations to my amazing, wonderful grandfather for all of his accomplishments and all of his achievements, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him.
I'd like to thank Marcia and Nelson for providing the food and the fact that you will have very generous. I'd like to thank the Walt Whitman Birthplace Association for the refreshments and also providing this wonderful space. And I'd like to thank Kappa and Kim Leslie and everyone that was on the program and everyone that's here. Sister Carolyn, Carolyn, can you please stand up? She took a video, and I don't know if she's going to actually make it. Jennifer Roberts, my cousin, thank you so much for coming And I want to thank my
Ancestors.
I am the son of Juanita and Andrew, the grandson of James and Annie, and Arthur and Ella. And our family goes back from the Hauser tribe in Africa, a dear of America. Looking back and knowing where we've come from, and all the obstacles that have been placed in our way, the hangings, the torture, even the many mysterious killings of some makes me wonder how I'm even alive, sane and here today. I will never forget the stories told by my parents and grandparents about the many sacrifices our ancestors made not that long ago when they were captured, chained, shackled together in a ship across the ocean far away in a cave. Even if they tried to silence me by cutting off my tongue and ears, my eyes will always tell the stories of the precious fears, our stories and our fears. Like the fear of being stripped down naked, tied while stinging lashes thrust upon our rears while questioning the existence of God ever being there, making us pray that God was here and wishing that this old life end was near. We are the proud descendants of those who were treated worse than barren dirt. Our fathers, mothers, sisters, and brothers were beaten, bought, sold, bred, rented, and traded. No words could ever excuse. I heard everything about us they told us was hated. Slave owners didn't care about separating an African man from his family. They were only concerned with their own satisfaction, status, and wealth. To them, we were all just a commodity. They didn't give a damn how we felt. I would not be quiet, get over it, nor would I forget. That's right. As long as I can still remember and as long as I have breath, I will tell our stories. My great-grandfather's father, Peter, was born enslaved.
With a value of $538, he was appraised, listed Negro boy as chattel property right there on the inventory sheet of slave owner Allen T. Overby, 1859, recently deceased, then bequeathed to another slave owner. I shame more by not mentioning the name to whom he was released. At the very early age of 7, Peter was separated from his family, peeled violently from the loving arms of his weeping mother Jenny, snatched shirt soaking wet with the tears of his brothers. Frank, age 4, 2-year-old Joe, did Peter ever see his family again? Years I've searched, and it hurts so much to say I still don't know. Slavery. Poison heirloom passed down from one generation to the next generation. Beginning at birth, they lived an entire life with very little or no hope at all in sight. American words are inadequate to describe voices I heard. No matter what they say, feel, or don't say about slavery, it just wasn't right. I will continue to tell our stories. I would not forget. With wide eyes filled with festering hatred coming from all directions, closely gathered did they band by the blazing dirt with babies in their arms and youngest held tightly by the hand, screaming and yelling, "Nigger," as they dragged me by my feet, delivering my reckoning while still I weep. And as she was forced to spread her young trembling legs as we cried, pleaded, and begged as we bled. You see, fire burns high rapidly, loudly when germs rekindled with seasoned timber of hate. No one escaped unscathed. There was no place to run. There was no place to hide. There was no place sacred. There was no place safe. A crack to the head, neck, leg, back, and knee to the young black men, women, and children. Did those with billy clubs hit repeatedly, boastfully grinning and shouting, "Get those niggers," as the pack of growling dogs viciously bit. Knocked down, harshly brushed and crushed by the velocity of the fireman water hose aim. Tarred and feathered, paraded amok, tied way down by yet another heavy ass chain. What a damn shame. They raped our precious little girls, hung our boys without consequences, took what they wanted, and destroyed our businesses. Burned crosses, bombed our churches, arrested our ministers and leaders. You see, to them we weren't really human. We were only niggers. Yet still, there's still time to start healing from the scars of history, but by first telling the truth. Yes, the truth, the reality. This land of the free, America, was formed, founded, and is still being governed with ideology embedded in racism, sexism, and other cruel and inhumane atrocities. You see, Native American genocide and slavery are just two of the many deep scars in America's history, doused with blood and tears, evoking painful memories with significance too important not to hear. America, will you ever learn from the scars of history? Led by he who lies so blatantly, here we are in the 21st century, infected with more than COVID-19 racist insurgency of our capital, threatening our democracy. See, while evil, unjust people in the highest office remain, we will all be limited as to what we can gain. And again today, black people and people of color are the ones left with the most immeasurable pain. Sure, we can always hope for a better future, as no one really knows what tomorrow will hold, but I won't fool myself into thinking at the generations of hatred that break their racist mold. But for how long will we have to live and fight those who think they're better than us because their skin is white? Will it ever end, or must we all die before God pays attention to our desperate cry?
I hate the thought of being shot down because of the color of my skin, but I will always remember, unfortunately, I will constantly be reminded when I walk out the door, that's the harsh reality all black men, women, and children are in. America, will you please learn from the horrid past and not lose sight? Any action fueled with hate, homophobia, sexism, racism, or the myth of white supremacy ideology just isn't right. Denying basic needs, treating people inhumanely, making and enforcing laws and degrading systems designed to disproportionately displace and keep black people of color down in prison, disenfranchised, depressed, and oppressed, and killing our black men, women, and children, while no one has been held accountable, just isn't right. Please learn and let's heal from the scars of history of America. Please don't lose sight. Based on this notion, this idea of America truly being the great nation, the land of the free, the liberty, equality, and justice must be inclusive, including people who look like me. Thank you so much. Growing up, I had a very severe speech impediment, and kids at school used to bully me, and they would call me all types of names, and it really did a number on me, and I would fight back. So one day, my mom was going to have another talk with me, and she asked me to meet her in the car. She was talking to me about the sticks and stones, break your bones, and words would never harm you. You know what they do. And she knew that it really wasn't getting through, so she turned on the radio. And my dad is a minister, and we couldn't really listen to secular music unless we kind of snuck. So our radio station was almost always set to NPR. Thank you, NPR. I recognize the voice as being Dr. Martin Luther King, and he was reading Mother to Son. It's a poem by Langston Hughes. She saw my attitude changing when I heard Dr. Martin Luther King reading Langston Hughes' poem, Mother to Son, and she said, you can channel your frustration into writing, and I've been writing ever since. It's not time to honor. And before I read this, I'd like to thank Deborah Hauser. I'd like to thank Terry Muse. And I'd like to thank Christina Rao for sharing their story, because that gave me encouragement right now. I was the littlest, the last of 5. At the time, I stood silent, quietly in line. On my face, right for the ages, here with the wide-eyed sidelong stare, and my big brother in the flood me ache in my belly. Yeah, I stood in that line. I stood there wearing my lucky yellow shirt, wrinkled, trimming the sleeves and bell bottom, shaking up a leaf inside. Outside, frozen. Perfectly still I stood all the time, just wanted to run away and hide with my big brother at my side. I was 8, and this lineup was the routine when you did something wrong, like not doing your chores or not doing what you're told to do when told. And especially looking like you kind of want to talk back. And I know our family was not the only one, but really, is there any reason to hit, whip, beat, or strike a child? Normalizing and perpetuating it as if it were an heirloom. 8 years old I was, lined up from the oldest to the youngest, me. After the speech, delivered almost as long as Sunday sermon, came the beckoning of the hand, pointing out exactly where to stand. First, my eldest brother stood in the designated spot, stoic and still like an ironing board. Dreadfully, I watched in endless ache as he, like a hungry crocodile, clenched his teeth as though his very pride was at stake. Relentlessly holding on for way too long. thinking so wrong. Twisted take, aggravate, instigate, sure to make more blows to flow. Harder and harder. The tears did choke behind the levee until he broke. His head did fall with nothing at all to say, feeling hurt, shame and defeated, he walked away. Sparing nothing. Within fingers' reach, I watched each of my siblings slowly walk from the line to the spot. A docile stare, her hand outstretched, without a sign, a single tear raced down. Taking my hand, firmly held, jerking whichever way. What? Nothing could we say. Okay. Belt, extension cord, leather strap, diverse switches braided with care, struck my sister who didn't break her docile stare. One by one I saw them walk off, sniffling in gloom, alone, two unshared, double bunk bed, single room. I was 8, now holding my behind, and in my turn anticipating the burn alone. I walked from the line to the spot I was told to stand. Like dark seas, I disappeared, the memories sank into sand. And just like the rest of my siblings, I too slowly extended my hand. Now, regardless of what I've been shown, today I know shame is not mine to own. Thank you. I see you standing over there, glaring, staring, looking at me. You don't even realize it's not really me that you see. You think you know who I am, but that's not true, because the true me will never be revealed to you. I don't trust you. No, not one single bit. Not even when you say, it's okay to laugh and be myself and go ahead, do it anyway. Sure, you laugh and smile all up in my face while you keep a couple of those birds in the bush, just in case. Low down, dirty shame. You think I don't know who you blame? I won't mention your name, but I assure you, I will beat you at your own game. It's stupid, dumb, silly and dull. Messing with me is as dangerous as the crossbow and skull. Don't cross me, or you'll be so very sorry you did. And remember, my friend, nothing is forever hid. So think about that very carefully as you stand over there looking at me. The next poem is another poem, and this is one that I read for the legislators. Thoughts of a mongoose. Beware of the poison that's found in the whispering meadows of the flowering lies. Restricted by hovering hills, closely watched by luminous skies, the spreading of daffodils and seeds of dandelion. Naively playing while games of nature taken only by design. Meanings by the sun's bright rays, a reflection unkind. Clouds wash their way, shadowing the trap of the mischievous thoughts of the mongoose. Pray. As persnickety as the wind blows, the perfume of danger and escape the harvest spray, while baby monkeys cling tightly to their mother's lap. Raging river rapids continue to flow down towards the valley, where mouths continue to flap. Thank you. I meant to mention the premise of that poem was being gossip, was gossip. So, yeah. A mustard seed. The birds were chirping, although I can only hear the silence very loudly. Looking blindly within myself, random thoughts ran rapidly through my mind. I stared at the emotionless ocean of words I could never say. The quandary of just how complicated my simple life came to be without you here with me. I know, I was lingering on the edge of a futureless past. I was stuck, still, with only a mustard seed's weight of hope for tomorrow. Without stumbling through today, I searched for answers to questions for peace of mind. I even prayed. Tap, 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 tap. I heard chirper birds singing praises of a life without a care. My beloved was dead. I was devastated. I was furious. The day had been on, and I was alone, overwhelmed with pain. Yet the sun rose with a spectacular blaze, vibrant blue, purple, and red, with zero chance of signs of rain. I had just begun to breathe, and damn birds had the nerve to sing. How could I comprehend such a loss in my head? For weeks I stayed in bed. Tap, tap, tap at the window. 2 little birds did I see. Annoyed at first, after a while I watched astutely, cheerfully did they play, then swiftly flew away. Even with just a bit of envy, I admired them. If only I could be like the birds, to myself did I say. Tap, 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 that's it, I said. Enough of drowning in a lake of sadness, waves of sorrow, kicking and hitting my pillow. Tap, although I can't sing like the birds, this is true. Tap, I know I'm alive, and this day is new. I must lift my wounded wings and try my best to fly too. Tap, tap, tap. I sat up on the side of my bed and placed my feet onto the floor. Tap. I took your photo from beneath my pillow and lovingly placed it in the dressing drawer over there. Tap. That's it, I had enough. Okay, no longer will I just be here still, stalled in the future's past with tomorrow's promise held hostage, as today ticks away with the aroma of life shifting and sifting the stench of regrets. Tap. Thank you. Now, Hiram LaRue, he's the founder of Poetry X Hunger, and he has a platform that you send in your poems and they raise money to feed the children. And I submitted this poem. And also, the proceeds of the song, of the poem that you heard with the music, that Ralph Rowe and John Adams produced. If you purchase it, the proceeds will go to Poetry X Hunger. This is entitled Salty Growls. And there's a QR code on the back of the flyer which you will receive. And also you can also donate money to the NAACP Eastern Long Island Scholarship Fund for Suffolk County Community College. Everything's on the paper. Salty growls, a full plate of hunger pain fills my belly. Salty growls, snapping fast, eats all desire. Placed before me, lacking substance, an outdated menu, nourishing depression, leaving nothing else. Thank you. Now, the beast is, when I wrote it regarding my speech impediment. When you have a speech impediment, at a young age, you develop systems in order to say certain words, and that's what I did. And when I went to Suffolk Community College, I like to thank Bill Cherry, because at the radio and television production, they initiated a course just for me to help me with my speech. And also, as an adult, I sought out a speech therapist who's here today, Ms. Carly Beckton, who's sitting in the first row. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it so much. And so the poem was about my speech impediment, but also I found out that it's any type of beast that we may have. It could be depression, it could be alcoholism, or any type of thing that you deal with every day. So it's called The Beast. My eyes open. The day falls dark. And I'm at war with the beast I defeated yesterday. No one can see the deep wound tightly wrapped in the dry blood-stained linen tucked underneath my breastplate. No one seems to care, having their own battles to fight and their own wounds to mend. From the muddy depths I lifted my head and my sword towards the heavens, and I began swinging with the mighty strength of gods, cutting the belly of the beast, merely wounding them before they began to retreat. Yes, I know another round is imminent. Tomorrow is only hours away. I will rejoice and rest till then. Thank you. Because I know we're gonna eat the heat. Now, sometimes I like to step out of myself and be in someone else's body. So the heat is about, it's set in Alabama and Coosa County, which is the southern part of the red belt. There's a black belt which goes from one end of Alabama to the next end of Alabama, and I have relatives that live in the southern part of the red belt that's just before the black belt. Anyway, it's set there, and there's a word called sows, and that's referring to hogs, the female hogs, the heat. I love the sound of, and it's told in the voice of a woman, of a beautiful black woman that she's young with the family. I love the sound of last night's heavy rain hitting against our tin roof, like drum beats sending ancestral messages of hope and freedom. Oh yes, I do find pleasure in the early morning pressure blending with many familiar smells from near and miles away. Honeysuckle, camellias, sassafras, freshly cut grass, tobacco, even the swiftly traveling trucks filled with livestock, and the subtle whiffs of ruffled red furrow dirt, excuse me, soil, whichever way you want to call it. When that big red rooster thrusts his feet before he crows. And lo, I surely do delight in the refreshing touch of the unexpected visitor breeze against my wanting sticky skin. Gently and very slowly I lift my husband's heavy arm off me and just lay there, perfectly still, making me free. Before long, my gas bidder fell well. Farewell indeed. The harsh breath of the radiant summer's morning sun overcame my body. Oh, how I thirst for the visitor who left far too soon. I closed my eyes and began to imagine wading in the little stream that flows far beyond the fence, and the weeping willows which refuse to move its branches in this still humid air. Oh, well, I can hear my baby resting in his bed. So I slowly got up, poured a little water in the basin, wet my lips and patted a bit upon my breast before sliding into my gown. Yes, the little pink one with the pretty little flowers on the pockets. I walked barefoot across the floor and peeked in on my sleeping child, looking like an angel sent directly from Almighty God himself to fulfill my purpose of being. He is beautiful. Soft, woolly hair, long legs, and beautiful dark skin like me and his daddy. I put on my boots at the front door, walked out unnoticed by our sweet, big old sleeping dog who fetched the eggs and feed the sows in the pen. Look at him. They just waddling in all that dirty mud, pushing and nudging their snouts all against the trout, defending each other to get their portion of food. Life seems so simple for them. They look like they're happy in a pit of mud, some slop, and a few ears of corn. The little ones are the cutest as they climb over, fall, jump, and crawl around each other. I always sprinkle a great big handful of feed in the opposite corner, behind those really pushy hogs, so the little ones can eat a bit before being discovered and pushed aside by those other ones. My husband is almost fully awake when I return. My gown is wet and clinging to my skin. He smiles gently and pulls me close to him by my waist, grabs the basket of eggs, places them on the table, kisses my neck, and leads me back to our bedroom. He lifts my gown, peels it off, and kisses my breast. Oh, his soft tongue circling feels so nice. I forget all about the heat and welcome him in as gratefully as the morning visitor. Nice. He moves slowly, touching my soul deep against my walls. I feel him. He comes and just like a visitor, scared us too soon, leaving me wet, stinky, and feeling the heat of another summer's day. Thank you. Some people think that I'm in the last part of my life, but I intend to prove them wrong. In fact, I will have a ball. I will run barefoot on the grass with my hose pointed up in the air. And as the water rains, I will look for the rainbow. Thank you so much. I'm done, but I would like to mention that there are cookies back there donated by Soul Snacks, which is Ralph Rowe, who is also the CEO of Fuimu. So we ask that you please eat, drink, and be merry, and just keep poetry alive. I'm so honored to be your Suffolk County Poet Laureate, and I thank everyone that come out tonight and made this possible. Thank you so much. Please, refreshments in the back. Heavy refreshments. It was donated by Deborah and the Hauser announcements. Thank you all so much.